This is the tutorial for the second half of the apron. After you finish the pockets, making the pockets and placing the pockets, that's about half the work. Next, you stitch 1 inch on the armhole, that's the 2 curved edges. Then you fold and iron again, and stitch it down. The 1 inch line for stitching is the line that is the furthest away from the needle. That's 1 inch. You're not doing a back stitch because this is just a line to help us know where to fold. So line it up at 1 inch there. And follow the curved line. Don't look at what the needle is doing. Look at the edge of your fabric and look at the stitch plate and follow that. You now have a 1 inch line sewn on the armhole of the apron. So you fold the edge of the fabric to the stitch line that you've created and iron that down. You have to use your thumb to sort of curl the fabric over. You're going on a curve here. So kind of use your thumb and your finger to curve the fabric around to match that stitch line. Then you fold the fabric a second time. This is what's called a clean finish. You don't leave a raw edge. I'm folding along the stitch line. And you again use your thumb and the tip of the iron. Follow that stitch to fold it down a second time. This is what it will look like after you finished ironing it. So if I unfold it, you'll see here's the sew line, 1 inch, fold to the first line, fold again on the line, and we'll be stitching close to this edge right here to hold it down. There's a couple terms that I'm going to use all year with you guys about the inside corner of the presser foot and the outside corner. When you're trying to stitch close to the edge of something, you line it up with the inside corner of the foot right here. The outside the outside edge is a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to line that up there, back stitch. And I'm following this edge of fabric. So again, I'm not looking at the needle, I'm looking at the edge of the fabric here, the little hem we're creating, lining it up with the inside corner of the presser foot. After you hem the armholes, then it's time to make the neck strap. That's the next step. It says 3/8 here, but I want you guys to do a 1/4 inch, which is the outside edge of the presser foot. So if you'd like to iron it, it will help hold it in place, and then you're going to stitch from one end to the other end, back stitch at each end, and each end will be open. If you iron the neck strap, it will eliminate the need for pins. If you think you need pins, you can use some pins. Again, remember to put it face to face, so that's party side to party side, and you will be sewing on the 2 edges here, not the folded edge, but the 2 edges right here. Now that we're sewing through 2 layers of fabric, we're going to back stitch. I'm lining it up with the outside edge of the presser foot, put the needle in the fabric, back stitch, again, don't look at the needle, look at the edge of the fabric, that it's lined up with the edge of the presser foot. Sew all the way across and back stitch when you get to the end. After you've sewn the neck strap, you have to turn it right side out. So you kind of have to take your finger or a pin or wiggle the fabric so that you create this tube, this opening. You'll get a safety pin. You put the safety pin in through one piece of fabric, close it, take the head of the safety pin, put it inside. To get it started, you have to push, 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 and then grab the strap with your finger and pull. It's like turning a sock right side out that's inside out. So you push and then slide and push and then slide till the pin comes out the other side, and then you'll iron it flat. The neck strap and the side straps are similar the way they're sewn, but there's a couple differences. This one, we're going to iron it so that the seam is down the center. You'll see after you turn it around that it won't be flat. So you'll go to the ironing board, lay it down, finger press the seam so it's in the center here. So it's folded on either side. Take the iron, use the nose of the iron with steam to go down the center of it. And you can see a big difference here. It flattens it out. Try to get it in the center as much as possible. And then you'll sew it to the apron. The next step is sewing the neck strap to the apron. In the picture right here, they're showing that you can shorten it because there's two different lengths you can make on it. So depending on if you're making it for someone taller or shorter, talk to me about it, and if you want, we can shorten it. I did shorten mine. So what you want to look at is that the apron is face up, and you're putting the neck strap face to face, and it looks like it's upside down. But later when we turn it, it's going to flip right side up. And we're sewing 1 inch across here. So I want to show you how to use the 1 inch ruler and the fabric pencil to mark it so that you sew it in the right place. Use the 1 inch ruler and the marking pencil to make a little line right here at the top. Make one line there, measure down 1 inch and make another line here. This is to help you line up the neck strap. The center seam on the neck strap will be facing you when you pin it on. This is at a right angle. The apron, the top of the apron is going at a little bit of an, I don't know what degree angle that would be. It's important that you line up the neck strap even with the apron, but you'll have to slide it over here so that when you start to sew the 1 inch, that this is even with the 1 inch. And this you'll definitely want to put a pin in here. Make sure the neck strap is not twisted. You bring it straight around to the other side. Make the straight edge even at the top. Now if you make it even with the top here but you don't move it over here, it won't be in the right spot. I'll help you if you need help lining it up. I'll help you line it up. So you just move it over a bit here so that this is a straight line and the neck strap is right at that 1 inch line. Oops, got a bent pin. And you'll definitely want to pin that down. Now you're going to go to the sewing machine and sew 1 inch across here. Line up at the 1 inch line on the stitch plate. Put the needle down. Remember, you can't sew over the pin, so take that out. You'll want to back stitch here. So now I'm sewing through the neck strap and the apron, and I'm following the 1 inch line over here on the stitch plate. Don't sew over the pin. And back stitch at the end. Now look at this next picture, because you have to turn the apron around and you have to get the neck strap facing away from the apron, and then you have to iron the hem. I'd like to show you some ironing techniques on this step in the apron, because a lot of the students don't get this right, and now that I have the flip video, I'm able to show you how to do it. So first, iron this flat. Then flip the apron over and iron the neck strap up again, because this stitch line that you just made is going to determine how pretty it looks at the top of the apron. So before you fold anything, iron the strap up this way and iron everything up this way. Now you create a hem the same way that we did on the side arm, but Now, instead of just having one layer of fabric to fold, you're going to be folding the neck strap down to the line, the stitch line. I know it's crazy on the fingers here, people. I understand. So you got to kind of get your finger to fold it and then dodge out of the way and then give it a little. Okay, so there's our first fold. Then you make the second fold. Again, it's thicker because we have so many layers of fabric here. So kind of let it cool a bit. And then you're going to fold exactly on that line and pull the strap up so that it's nice and flat. Get the finger out of the way, fold it right on that stitch line. If you need a friend to help you hold it up, you can do that. Give it a little and then you're going to go down back to the machine and stitch this. Now it's going to be kind of thick here, so you have to be careful and go a little bit slow. This is what it looks like when you've folded under all the layers with the neck strap and the hem at the top of the apron. It's kind of thick, but it should look like this. You really won't be able to pin this, so just slide it under the presser foot, and you'll see when you lower the presser foot can't even go down. It's sort of sticking up. So line it up on the inside corner edge there and do a little back stitch. Ooh. Okay, now I went a little bit back too far and it's so thick that I have to push it a bit to get it going. So you might have to tuck that under a bit. Okay, now I'm getting to the thick part where the neck strap is, so it might not go under the presser foot too easy, so if you need to, put the needle down, lift it up, readjust everything. If you need to, use the hand wheel to get over the thickness of the fabric. And then you want to back stitch at the end.